So as we can see, our topic today is how to use the OM IP-PBX and the MX gateways to compete with third-party SIP terminals. So there are two parts actually in these solutions. The first is the building, and second is the campus. So as we all know, the NeuRock is a VoIP company. We provide a VoIP product. All of them is based on the SIP. It's voice over IP sessions, which means as long as a SIP terminal supports these standard protocols, they can be used on our OM IP-PBX and gateways as a IP extensions. Now we have entered a digital age. From the analog to digitals, there are a lot of migrations and transmissions in this progress. And in the next 30 minutes, I will show you how can we do these transformations with SIP-based products. And now some advanced technology has already entered into the IoT, the more advanced technologies. So let's get started with the first part, the building telephone solutions. In the building, we talk about this single apartment, like the residential and commercial buildings. There are intercoms, call box, and in this. So let's see the building will IP solution introductions. So please help mute yourself. Thank you very much. So we have these features. It's called compatibilities, which means in the buildings there are SIP cameras, SIP intercom, call box, and property management systems. Our OM IP-PBX and MX gateways can actually compatible with all these SIP terminals and integrate them in one solutions and in one systems. So it would be very easy to manage and deployment. Here we have an overview about how to normally in the daily life, how someone opens the doors in the buildings. You can swipe the card, you can enter the passcode, and you can just push one button, the facial recognitions, and you can have these indoor phones at the entrance of the building and have these indoor extensions installed in the household. And we have these different ways of opening the doors. So our next is the OM-PBX compatible terminals. So as we can see, it comes up with different forms, the SIP intercom, SIP camera, the IP phones, the indoor stations. As long as they support the SIP terminals, you can picture them as a product that is actually an IP extension that can be binded to the OM-PBX, which means you can actually set up this different terminals on the OM IP-PBX. Let's see, the next is the major solutions. How does this work? So first of all, users can always use the VoIP gateways, which is analog gateways, connect to the public phone networks. And in one buildings, there might be a lot of ONUs, which we use the extensions connect to the internet. This is the first step and very important step. They need to access to the internet. So we have this different kind of indoor extensions. They can be set up on the OM IP-PBX. If someone is at the once all these terminals have these extension numbers, the users at the entrance, and they can dial their extension number like 150, and the indoor station have this extension can actually communicate from the IP-PBX, and they can access to the door, and they can open the door by these platforms. And we have these video phones, the indoor extension who has the video functions. The SIP cameras, you might wonder what can they do with this IP-PBX? It can be pictured as a video phone also. So these two terminals can actually have video conference through these platforms. So this is what we call compatibilities and communicate through the OM IP-PBX platform. And we can see the green one is the analog lines.
Can you demonstrate, can you demonstrate that surveillance camera integration with OM20? That might be useful actually.
I'm sorry, who is talking?
I'm Raja here. Good morning, everyone.
Oh, good morning, Roger. Mr. Roger.
Yeah.
I'm sorry about, I didn't quite understand your question earlier. Could you help repeat it?
Actually, you are saying that the building entrance surveillance camera intercom, okay, can, in fact, mainly the surveillance camera can be integrated with OM PBX.
Yes.
So is there any possibility that you can demonstrate in this meeting that this can be done, how it can be done, instead of just showing the presentation?
So you mean the configuration about actually how they can interact, right?
Yeah, how it can interact. Like, for example, the surveillance camera is there, okay? And when somebody comes inside the building, how we get the notification, what it needs to be done, and whether it is getting stored or otherwise it's just only a notification to the extensions, how it is being done.
During our proof of concept test, some kind of the SIP cameras support this connect to the OM IP-PBX. Unfortunately, I can't demonstrate this live situation here, but I can guarantee that those two has the video conference. So if you just consider this video camera as a camera on your IP phones and its policy protocols, those two can actually talk to each other through this PBX, like the video conference, like two video cameras have this video conference through the IP PBX. For this question, for the demonstrations, I can ask our tech support team to help build this environment and show you how to configure it and how those two terminals can actually communicate each other. But on our webinars, we only have the pictures, the solutions about this part.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, no problem. So let's continue. We were talking about the building's entrance. So the entrance can dial the extension number and communicate with different indoor extensions, and they can open the doors. This is one of our solutions that we cooperate with Fanwheel in their building and campus solutions. So the next one is a more specific scenarios is the analog building elevators. So in our experience that some of the buildings are still using the analog extensions and analog call box. So they have these analog lines connect to the PBX and using the very traditional plain the old system, analog systems, but the carriers has already changed their platform to the IMS. So they are seeking a solution to migrate these platforms to the IMS, but they need to keep their very expensive terminals, such as this emergency phone in their elevators and the analog extensions on their property management offices. So the New Rock gateways can actually provide these migrations to the new IP communication system. Here we can see this is a solution provided to our North America partners, and we have these two gateways. One is the FXO port, and one it has this FX port to do these migrations. The first one is all their analog terminals use this FX port to register to this gateways, and this gateway registers to the OM IP-PBX via the internet, and OM IP-PBX actually has the MX registered to the MS platforms, and they are in this same network because they are in the same buildings, and we can actually use the active standby function of these gateways. We have this redundancy abilities for this emergency help phone in the elevators, because no matter what happened, if someone is trapped in the elevator, they can always push these buttons and make the outbound calls connect to the property management system. So the active standby will migrate this failover abilities to this. So this gateway will automatically connect to the outside PSTNs and allow the users to make outbound calls to connect to the property management extensions. So this way, not only can the buildings migrate to these IMS platforms, they can also have the redundancy and emergency failover functions for these systems. So some of the solutions have already been deployed in some countries because the carriers require them to migrate to the IMS platforms. But these solutions can actually solve multiple questions at the same time. So this is for the migration and elevator emergency phone calls. Like I said, so we have this question about how to. The how to question is how to register all these signals because they have different admin page and different brands. But on the OM IP-PBX, if you just consider them as a IP extensions, you can just open the OM-PBX configuration page and go to the extensions and IP. You can set up the IP numbers and just enter the PIN code and just register this terminal as a IP extensions, and you can utilize the compatible abilities between all these SIP terminals. So I think our technical support team will have these sessions about how to solve these questions about actually how you can practically do this. So this is some of our building solution partners. All of them provide the SIP terminals like the cameras, intercom, the checkpoint for the parking lot, and some of the AI and IoT devices. So these are some brands. We already cooperated with some of the China's famous brand as our solution partners. Just take all this as a core of the IP phones, although they have different looks and different forms, but as long as this supports the SIP protocols, they can be considered as the IP extensions. In the next page, next part, I will talk about how to use the SIP broadcast on the OM IP-PBX, which will also utilize terminals the SIP cast. Let's see the next part. It's for the campus is which multiple buildings and far more range in one areas. So we have the campus features, as we all know, they have different buildings doing the manufacturing, do the R&D, and do the marketings, and they require multi-system interactions. So with the analog extensions gradually phased out, some of the campuses has already required all IP deployment because with its unique advantage and high compatibilities. So let's see what features is in the campus solutions. So the scenario description is they need to multi-building networking and unified management, which OM IP-PBX always supported these features. And also the similar with buildings, the building solutions is the campus need the networking in this whole campus. So the all IP deployment has unique advantages on save the labor and labor cost, time cost, and so you don't need to do any wiring works in these large areas. So this is some of the objections. The OM IP-PBX can do much more than the IP telephony, which means the office desk, phone desk, the IP extensions for the staff. They can also manage all the SIP terminals, like the cameras, the intercoms, U1 system. So this is, like we said, so the intercoms is very popular in every building's entrance. So this can be interconnected with the OM PBX and the campus dispatch printer and management systems. So they can solve the problem of the multi-subsystem interactions. And the next very important terminals is the SIP speakers, because you know in many like the malls, the schools, hospitals, which has multiple buildings, they need these SIP speakers, you know, for some like emergency broadcasting, for some timed broadcasting. So the broadcast is a very important terminals for the campus. And we next I will show you how you can set up the broadcasting functions with this SIP terminal, SIP speaker we call it in these solutions. So it's very similar to the buildings. It's just add more of them in one network. So you can have the campus interest, have the intercom, the security extensions, the surveillance cameras, and inside the buildings you can have the intercom, the SIP speakers, the indoor stations, surveillance cameras, the parking lot. So this is a multi-site, multi-building solutions. And we have this elevator, public areas. So basically, all the campus have the similar structures. We can have summarized in this topology. It's very similar, but with just add more buildings. So the feature list is first of all, we have already set intercom. You can with dialed extensions to open the door. Of course, the call recordings as some of our customers know that Neurock provides this software IMS recording management systems. So as long as this SIP intercom and indoor station is registered on the OM IP-PBX, the IMS can also automatically collect those files generated from the intercom and indoor stations. So it's just work like IP extensions. And of course, we have the call availabilities because the gateways and PBX, some of the models comes up with the failover functions and the system redundancies, to guarantee the call is always available in this campus. The next one is the castings. So inside this multi-building campus, the security or the dispatch center want to transform information through this broadcast. So on the OM PBX, it supports the one-way broadcast, two-way broadcast, and multi-terminal broadcasting. So the initiator of this broadcast can be from a analog extensions or IP extensions or from the OM IP-PBX itself. It means you can upload a file on this PBX and set a time, and it will broadcast through all these SIP speakers that is scattered in different parts of the campus. So we have different scenarios: the unified, the group broadcast, the point-to-point, and emergency broadcast. So it's very common and very regular for the campus. The next one is the configuration page. I take the OM50G as examples. So you go to the application and go to the casting rules, which means the broadcasting, you can set the rules for the timely broadcast. So this is a multi-IP terminals broadcasting, and you can set up let me see, this is a scheduling. You can set up on daily, weekly, and you can set up exact the time and exact terminals, and you can always upload your casting files to the OM IP-PBX. So this is what we call, you can use the OM IP-PBX as a management platform of all your SIP speakers in the campus. So this is one of the features of our campus solutions. The next one is the advantages. Of course, because it's all IP deployment and modular design, it's very easy to deploy. You can choose the multi-IP-PBX networking, or you can choose a very large size of IP-PBX. We have this flexible scheduling rules like the day and monthly or weekly. And it's highly compatible, like we said, the SIP callbox, SIP intercoms. So we can explore the different types of SIP terminals to register as a IP extension on the OM IP-PBX. And also we can always scale up or down because IP-PBX is actually license control. So you can add more users by purchasing license, or you can just scale down. You can choose a very smaller one OM IP-PBX models, just based on the size of the campus and user extensions of the buildings. So The solution part is pretty much this, and the next one we're going to go to the third part. So why New Rock? We choose some related product which is very popular in these scenarios. Very smaller sized OM IP-PBX and analog gateways, and also you can try to use the third-party SIP intercoms. The very famous is Fanwheel and like Flying Voice and etc. So I have listed some our compatible brand. From the platforms, I take an example is Neurock's own OM IP-PBX. But for the platforms, you can choose the free PBX platforms like the free switch asterisk. Also, you can choose some cloud solutions like the 3CX or Cisco's. For the terminals, we have different kind of partners like the High-Tech, Fanwheel, and Panasonic, and Atcom, etc. So this is some our telecom operator and SP customers. Some of the giant telecom companies from China, and some of them are from our Southeast Asia partners. So our solution today from our campus and building is pretty much this it. So I hope I have help you understanding how the PBX can intercom with the SIP terminals. So I will take 1 minute for our next part notice. So our next webinar will take like half month later, and we will talk about the New Rock references, our customer studies. We will do from the vertical perspectives, like from the airport to the emergency hospitals, our case studies, from with our different partners in the overseas market of the projects we done for the last 3 years.